Hey, so here we are, third episode of Columbus is Real now.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yep, we made it. We made it back to video once again.
Sorry.
Apologize in advance. Do not adjust your set. They're that white.
Yes.
So, this will be our first non-bar, I think, that we've covered. Is that correct? Well, kind of. Natalie's is sort of like a
venue.
Yeah.
This is a venue as well,
but with a bar.
With a bar.
Yeah. So we're going to cover Studio 35 in a bit, but yeah.
I think we're going to be hard pressed to cover something that doesn't have a bar.
Truth. I mean, why would we go there?
I can't imagine.
Let's go do something, but let's do it sober. I mean,
yeah,
that's just not a thing.
I don't even know what would that
church or prison, I guess, right?
I would make toilet wine in either,
right? And my purse is deep.
There's wine in church.
Yeah, that's true. It's not good, but
whatever gets you there.
But shit, dude, you've been on like a whirlwind tour of like concerts and stuff.
I've inadvertently been living the rock and roll lifestyle the last
you're trying to
whole month
cram your entire life into a 3-day pass almost.
Yeah. So we started off the month seeing Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds at the Palace.
At the Palace
on May 2nd, which was life altering.
It really was.
Like, I could do hours about Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, that show, and
that's the pinnacle of my concert life. Yeah.
I think you on Facebook you posted something about you've never seen anything like it, and you were spot on.
Yeah, it absolutely it's a different experience. So if you have an opportunity and he's anywhere near you, go see him. So like the Sunday before that was a Friday night show. I saw The Tallest Man on Earth. I'm like, this is too much. And Tom just went completely the opposite direction. So we saw Nick Cave on a Friday night, and then the following Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, the following Thursday through Sunday was Sonic Temple.
Jesus Christ.
Down at Historic Crew Stadium, which it's funny because like when I left, they had just built it. and that was historic. Okay. So I'd never actually set foot in the joint before.
Right.
But Sonic Temple, I didn't know what to expect. I never considered myself like a metalhead or into metal, but I do like metal.
Okay.
I have some bands. I was never a big Metallica fan. Whereas so many of our contemporaries,
sure,
like that solidified their metalldom.
Oh, absolutely.
Metallica came out and like, yes, that is that defined the genre for a lot of people. I never got into Metallica. It wasn't until much later in my life that like I was, it was like in the last 10 years. Mm-hmm. 10, 20 years, 15 years.
Okay.
That I've gotten into the harder stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so, but I've always been an Alice Cooper fan. He played at Sonic Temple. Always been a Rob Zombie fan. He played at Sonic Temple. Mm-hmm. Metallica played 2 nights.
Okay.
They played on Friday night and they played Sunday night. 2 completely different sets, 2 completely different shows. 2 completely different vibes.
Yeah.
The show on Friday was, good.
Right.
It was good. I'm not a Metallica fan, okay? So it was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't feel bad leaving early to go see Insane Clown Posse, of which I'm not a fan, but I kind of am now. I get it.
Won't hold it against you. Again, glass houses.
I'm not buying all in.
You're not a juggalo.
However,
you understand.
I get it. Okay. I have had some insight and some first-hand experience out in in their natural habitat. And yeah, okay, they're not like groundbreaking artists, but I see they put on a fun show.
Okay,
kind of like Gwar, who I also saw finally at Sonic Temple. Mm-hmm. Again, I wouldn't classify them as artists or musicians, Artists, maybe.
Yeah.
And they know how to play instruments.
Performers.
They are performers. It is a show. If you get a chance to see Gwar, go see Gwar. It's just fun.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. But overall, I mean, Sonic Temple, in the span of 4 days, I only went 3 out of the 4 days, but I saw Metallica twice. Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie, flipping Seven Dust. Tried to see Ginger, but they're having sound problems. Didn't get to see Linkin Park. I should have written this stuff down. Sorry.
That's prep work.
But so many bands, and then like there were like all the side stages with lesser known bands.
Right.
I mean, to me, like I don't know any of these guys for the most part. I know like 7 of the bands that played over the 4-day weekend,
And 2 are Metallica.
and 2 of them were Metallica. So heard a lot of new bands that I'd not heard before.
Right. That's cool.
Filter played.
No way.
Filter was on one of the side stages.
Wow.
I was like, I know them.
Holy
They're
shit.
my age.
Yep.
And they sounded great. That was a good show. But overall, just fantastic. I know that there were a lot of traffic issues, a lot of parking problems. But, once you got inside,
Right.
that was a great festival experience.
Good.
Once you got into the fest area.
So that was 4 days worth.
So that was 4 days of music festival. And then we took a nap. And then flew to Pasadena
Jesus Christ.
just this past weekend for the Cruel World Festival, which was an 80s, early 90s festival
Right.
of just fantastic bands. I went last year, and if you've watched last season, I talked about it for ad nauseum, as they say. Because last year it was such a fantastic experience, the Cruel World.
Right.
This year was good. I don't think we're going to go back.
Okay. That's fair.
I think going to Sonic Temple and then immediately jumping to Cruel World,
Right.
like the comparison was just right there, and it was very stark.
Sure.
Yeah, the guys that put on Cruel World are the same guys that do Coachella, and the same guys that do Stagecoach, which is the country version of
Right.
Coachella that happens either before or after. It's that same chunk of time. So, I mean, they know how to make money doing this. Undoubtedly, they know how to make money doing this, and it shows. Whereas, like Danny Wimmer with Sonic Temple, yeah, the guy got paid.
yeah.
Obviously.
He's not starving.
There's money involved,
Right.
but I think as the guest experience at Sonic Temple,
Right.
4 days was, I think, stellar.
Yeah.
Cruel World, yeah, they had great bands, great lineup.
Right.
Not as good as last year or the year before, but I mean, it was still fantastic. I mean, amazing. The heavy hitters that showed up at Cruel World, the top of the list, well, the headliner on paper was New Order. The actual headliner was Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds,
Right.
who I just saw 2 weeks
before.
So I've seen Nick Cave in 2 different venues in the same, with the span of 4 weeks, and it was really cool to go from seeing him at the Palace Theater
Right.
to, an outside festival.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Still brought it. I was worried because, like, at the Palace, because I had such an amazing experience. I don't want to say spiritual, but
To a certain extent,
I'm having a hard time finding another word to describe it.
It is somewhat spiritual, because and plus a lot of tonally,
Yeah.
a lot of the new album is about faith and his relationship with God too, which close to 50% of the Palace show was the new album. So yeah.
And it's great. But so he had, at Cruel World, it was obviously a truncated
Right.
playlist. They only have like 20 minutes, half hour. I mean, I think he had like almost 45 minutes. So we got to hear some of the same songs that we heard at the Palace, but it was just interesting to see it in a festival atmosphere, wide open, big, big stage,
Right.
Huge audience just standing, just
Right.
It had been misting hard, like almost rain all day. But I was concerned because the show at the Palace was so emotional, and everybody there, it was like going to church.
Yeah.
You go to your church, and so everybody at the Palace was there to go to church to see Nick Cave. Everybody at Cruel World is there for different reasons.
Right.
That some of them happen to be, that's the Red Right Hand guy.
Right.
And the Peaky Blinders. And so I was like, all right, how's this gonna go down? Because, at the Palace, he's jumping off the stage and he's walking into the audience.
Right,
singing,
yeah.
oh my God. And everybody's like so cool with it. It's
Right.
like, yes. And he's like touching people and he's like so interactive.
Right.
Which was great. Like, how's it going to roll if these people, do they know who he is?
Right.
And they did. I'm an idiot. They knew who he was. Fucking Nick Cave. But so he had that same, it didn't like get down into the crowd,
Right.
but like had that same level of connection.
Okay.
With the people that he could physically touch, and then that same level of connection for half a mile out.
That's pretty awesome.
It was cool. Definitely the highlight. The other big highlight, Devo was great. Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark played. Mm-hmm. They were really good. Garbage played. They were fantastic. But other, as far as like if I had to rank the shows, I wish that Stereo MCs had been on the big stage,
Right.
and played longer because they were phenomenal.
Okay.
Stereo MCs were great. If they're coming to you, go see Stereo MCs. You will not regret it. Let me get my list so I don't forget somebody. Devo Madness. Holy crap! Yeah, Madness played at Cruel World. They were phenomenal. Didn't quite know what to expect because, like, they're older and
Right.
they're it's ska, so it's two-tone. It's very jumpy, active.
Sure.
They brought it. Great show, great stage presence, great performance, executed perfectly. I'm gonna go see Madness next time they come. Till Tuesday, first time they got together, they played for the first time in like 19 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sounded great. Amy Mann, like I didn't realize that Amy Mann.
Yeah. Her solo career has been extraordinary. I mean, sure. Her voice I think, has changed a little bit since they were, in mid 80s.
Yeah.
Tonally, she's a little different, but her as a writer, I think she's just phenomenal.
Vocally, I mean, yeah, she sounded older. Mm-hmm. So you're hearing the songs you heard back in the 80s.
Right.
But there's wisdom attached to
Right. You get the maturity. That's pretty
that
cool.
maturity. So it's like, okay, yeah, this is the song I remember.
Right.
But now it sounds the way I feel. If that makes sense. It's like, yeah, that sounded right. Buzzcocks played. They were great. Stereo MCs. Alison Moyet. I was really excited to see Alison Moyet because I was a big Yaz fan.
Yeah.
Loved Yaz. Loved Alison Moyet back in the day. And she put on a great show. She looks great. For me personally, now there's a lot of reviews that like just don't exactly jive with what I heard. Mm-hmm. To my ear, it didn't quite sound right.
Okay.
And it wasn't just that she was older or a wiser or
Right.
a seasoned voice. It just hit wrong. I mean, you go
Like the mix was off, kind of thing, or
no, it was
just
her voice.
okay.
It was the voice. It just hit wrong. You go OMD saying, if you leave, and like,
Right.
all right, it wasn't spot on, but it was there.
Right.
It hit right. That's what I remember it sounding like. Madness hit right. And, they're older. It's their voices are Stubbs
Right.
older. His voice is a little bit different, obviously, but it hit right. Everything hit right. Stereo MCs was spot on. Devo, spot on. The Mother's Bra sounded exactly like he did
Oh yeah,
on
absolutely.
We Are Not Men.
Yep.
And Devolution, it was like listen to the record, except better because they were right there.
Right.
Shirley Manson from Garbage was spot on. Obviously, things sound different live,
Right.
but they were tight, spot on. New Order, kind of the same thing with Alison Moyet in my ear.
Right.
Not quite there. Musically, yeah, perfect. Musically, great. Vocals,
Not so much.
not so much. But it's just funny because, for the last several years, I've always we got to go see Elton John. We got to go see
Right.
Billy Joel. And it got to a point where it's like, yeah, that's not a good idea anymore.
Right.
It's like, we're not going to hear the songs we want to hear done the way we
Yes.
remember them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right.
Which is horrible because you're still seeing the genius that evoked and that manifested that magic.
Right.
But it's not the magic I want. I want the old magic. But yeah, so New Order. I was really excited they were on the bill. I still, after seeing Nick Cave at the Palace, I was like, how are they the top of this bill? And he is
Right.
not.
He was never like gigantic here in the States
Never huge
either.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes him even cooler.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like you're part of the cool kids club.
Yes.
You're like, if you know Nick Cave,
Yeah.
or Grinder Man, or
He's-
Birthday Party. It's
He's
like,
one of those artists like and I know it's cliche, but he's like your favorite band's favorite band kind of thing, like
the
he's-
band that inspired the band.
he's the guy that the people you like listen to.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
I forget who it was. There's several bands that I like that are that band.
Right.
And I use that in that exact same description. Like, well, yeah, this is the band that inspired this band.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
then they must be good.
So if that mediocre talent that you listen to, like when they're not recording and they put their headphones on, this is what they're listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've put in like a lot of work, entertainment wise, since I left the Palace and thought, whew, now I don't have to do shit
Yeah.
for another month.
No, you have to punch out, and I had to step up.
Yeah,
But honestly, the cruel
the Sonic
Sonic
Temple.
Temple tickets fell into our hands.
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine that I served with in the Army back in like 12, 13 years ago in Europe, and he won tickets.
That's very cool.
He lives in Virginia.
Right,
So I get this call out of the blue. We've exchanged emails over the years.
right.
But I haven't actually talked to the guy. Get this phone call. Hey, man. Kind of out of the blue. I won tickets to go to Sonic Temple. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, what? The wife doesn't want to go. Would you want to? I'm like, yeah.
Right.
He's like, I got another kind of a weird one. I'm like, you need a place to stay? Like, yeah. Like, get over here. Like, come on. So yeah, it was really cool. Got to reconnect with an old buddy.
That's awesome.
Saw some fantastic bands at Sonic Temple. Can't recommend that enough. I'm not sure who the lineup is next year, but as far as I will say, because he had won the tickets, and it's all armband stuff.
Right.
Like, it came with like all these extra perks on the armband, and like none of them worked the first day. And so that was kind of a pissing thing. We were back and forth to the box office,
Right.
and various guest services to get that squared away. And it wasn't until that was Thursday, and then it was like midday Friday they finally got it all squared away. But so that was a hiccup. But again, that's a third party. But
Right.
Danny
Right.
figured it out. That was as far as once you it's like inside the gate, yeah. Picking up the bands at the box office, that was like an hour and a half waiting in line. Oof. I'm like, okay,
Right.
free. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you can't bitch.
I can't. I have no legs to stand on.
Yep.
Yeah, all I can comment on, nothing.
Right.
But yeah, that said, it was a phenomenal fucking experience.
Good. Well, I'm glad you got to experience it.
Cruel World. It was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw amazing bands that I never thought I'd see.
Right.
It's still a really cool event. It just kind of pales in comparison.
Right.
And it just wasn't executed. Now that I know like what a really cool fest feels like, it's like, oh, oh yeah. Cruel was a different vibe than it was the year prior.
Okay.
I don't know if it was just the weather or
That might be.
it was funny. There's a lot of electronica. Not that there wasn't a lot of that in the '80s, but like they really leaned in.
Right.
Oh God, Midge Ure played.
Yeah, we were talking about that
Yeah,
before.
like,
Yeah.
Dude, like one of the highlights. I'm like, how is he playing at noon? Fucking phenomenal. Holy crap! I apologize to Mr. Ure. Yeah, Midge Ure was amazing. At like 70 some odd years old or something,
Right.
and like came out there and just hit it. Did Dear God, did all the the big Ultravox hits. He did a tune from when he was with Visage. Did his solo with Dear God. And again, like I was telling you earlier, like I somewhere buried,
Right.
in a repressed memory or something is the song Vienna from Ultravox, because I'm like, oh cool, Vienna, I really dig this song. And at some point during the song, like it triggered. It's like, oh God, like it just all the feels, all the emotions just came out. I'm like, God, like, yeah, I know it's an emotional song and it's great, but I never had that reaction
Right.
before. What's in there? So I don't know.
I'd keep that shit buried if I were you.
I need to get more nerd.
Don't pick that scab.
I'm trying not to pull on that thread. But, yeah, so I'm sorry. Midge Ure was fucking amazing. But it was, like I said, like, a lot of electronica stuff. Light Asylum is a band I'd never heard of.
I don't remember them.
I didn't recognize any of the songs that she played, but it was just, apparently it was at one point a duo.
Okay.
Now it's just one woman, and like a lot of electronics. And she just tweaks the things and sings and tweaks the things, and the music happens and she does the thing. She was great.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool. That was fun. Blancmange, which I don't recognize the name. I reckon hearing it, not at Cruel World, but hearing it like on the playlist.
Right.
Like, oh yeah, I remember that song. So I remember some of the songs. I didn't remember anything they played. But again, two people, a guy and a woman.
Right.
And she's just working all the fucking synthesizer dials and shit. She's just like sweating. And he's like, yeah.
Right.
Get to work, woman. I'm going to sing and dance. She's like, fuck. Fuck. They sounded good.
Right.
Okay. Not bad. I think they're touring with Midge Ure.
Oh, okay.
That's on my list. All right, that's a hit, Brian.
Okay. Covered. But still, whirlwind tour for you. Like, again, I was overwhelmed with 2 shows in a week, and then you went to like 40 of them.
Yeah.
So kudos to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been wild.
Good.
Denver Airport sucks.
Okay.
Not a fan of Southwest Airlines.
All right then. Good to know.
That is all.
Good to know.
That's
Okay.
all I'm going to say about that, because I can't afford a lawsuit. I just spent all my fucking money at festivals.
Noted.
I got nothing.
So now we've covered Tom's month, we got together to talk about Studio 35 for this episode.
Right.
And again, it's been around as long as we have.
It's like 60 some odd years. It's been around like for
So as we were,
a very long time.
when we were talking about it, I remember seeing shows there in our teenage years.
Yeah.
You know, but we also grew up when the Cineplex was sort of starting to peak, and you know, all like I remember seeing in the late 80s, early 90s, we would go to like Dublin Village to see stuff, and you know, AMC was starting to build those 18 screen larger theaters.
Yeah, the Lowe's Arlington 2 screen.
Right.
You know, that's a hardware store now, I think.
Yeah, but
yeah, the big Cineplexes were new. We saw that happen.
yes, we watched that.
The 1 and 2 screen.
Yeah, but what I liked about Studio 35 when we were younger, and the same, it's not there anymore, it's moved, but the Drexel North, when it was at Cook and High,
Is Drexel North?
yeah, it's just not there. It moved. But what I liked about those, you could see things that weren't at the big theaters. Yeah. And they did more neighborhood stuff. Like the Drexel was the first place I ever spent the night in a movie theater watching movies. You know, like
a marathon.
Yeah, they had sci-fi marathons back then. The Studio 35 does horror marathons all the time now, which you know, in my mid 50s, I can't stay up that late.
I know, right? Because they just had one in March.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, that would be so much fun. I don't think I could do that.
No. And I'll see stuff that pops up there and think, man, that looks like a blast. And it's like, starts at 11 p.m. I'm like, well, I won't be going to that.
Somebody's having fun.
Yeah. So the theater has matured. They got rid of the old, terrible seats, and now they're like big, nice, fat...
Plush. Yeah.
Yeah, they're nice and big. The back few rows have tables, so you have a nice flat surface to put your beer.
That's always kind of been the case.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Rows have always had that little...
Like the little table service. Yeah. Yeah. Now the upstairs theater...
Upstairs is all new.
Yeah, it's... I want to say maybe 40 seats, and it's huge Barca loungers.
Those are big-ass Barca loungers.
And they have like the little table that flips out.
Yeah, like when you used to have to, like when you took the
like
test.
your desk, yeah.
Your desk at the school. And you would
yeah, and those are comfy as hell.
Yeah.
So it's the upstairs is a smaller theater. You can even rent it out for like, I don't know, PowerPoint presentations or something where like if you and your buddies wanted to watch something over the weekend.
Yeah.
But huge bar area at Studio 35.
Great bar area.
Tons of taps.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like a ton.
Yeah, tons of taps.
And it's mostly regional and local stuff too, which I like.
They've done a really fantastic job highlighting and maintaining the highlight on local and regional brew.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I love how that, you know, community feeds region.
Yes.
You know, region feeds state.
Yep.
That's such an active philosophy here, especially with Studio 35.
Right.
And so many other places, but Studio 35 really does a great job.
Oh, they absolutely do.
You know, the local and regional and state.
Yep. And they're involved in the community too. And again, they still do the marathons. They have horror marathons all the time. Yep. Since Tom has been back, we have gone to many beer tastings.
So many.
So it's basically a 3:00 movie, but you have to get there starting at 1:00. You will have 10 different beers over the course of the 2 hours, and the manager or owner of Grandview, like their sister theater, will talk about the brewery and talk about this individual brew. They'll show clips, usually of like YouTube stuff and Saturday Night Live. They'll have raffles for 2 hours.
Guy on a buffalo.
They'll show Guy on a Buffalo, the possum
Good.
pussy,
Good.
possum posse.
Possum posse.
Say that 3 times fast.
No, thank you.
Yes. Pustule pussy.
It's the pustule pussy, pocket pussy. Yeah. No matter
So
what.
just don't watch it on YouTube. Watch it on
No,
YouTube.
actually, no. Don't
It's
Don't-
pretty
just
stupid.
Forget we said. Forget we said. Just go to a beer tasting and
Yeah.
just
Absolutely.
get it. So much more.
What else are they doing? The like sewing circles with movies,
They
basically.
do. Yeah, it's like a craft or a sewing.
Yeah.
A sewing.
Like you bring your whatever craft you're working on and
Yeah.
you just watch
watch
movies.
a movie.
Yeah.
Drinks. So
In the summer they'll have free movies for kids.
there's a summer series that happens like from June through September. June.
Yeah,
through
like
August.
early Saturday mornings, early afternoons. They'll
I
just
just saw that they are doing on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, like at 10:30 and at like 1:30,
yeah.
like movies for kids.
Yeah.
And then on Saturdays they're doing classic Disney animated stuff
That's very cool.
every Saturday morning.
Yep.
Like, fucking right on.
Yeah. Lebowski Fest every year.
Lebowski Fest. That's something they fell. That I heard they sort of fell into almost accidentally. Like they aired it.
Right.
You know, they aired it, and then like it just became.
It just grew.
Like, so like, well, let's do another showing.
Yes.
So it became like a marathon. Like we're just going to air it for 24 hours.
Right.
And the people came.
Now that is a rabid fan base, man. Those people are fucking nuts.
I would love to experience that.
Yeah.
Well, you were talking about you went to a Lebowski. You got
In Louisville,
Lebowski adjacent. You got roped into.
yes. So
something.
I was at the Louisville Comic Convention, peddling my wares, and it was the same weekend as Lebowski Fest. So, and down there, it's like in a parking lot. I mean, it's not a movie theater. It's just fans get together.
And guys that easy up in a Facebook account.
And yes, and it's a bunch of overweight dudes with beards pissing on carpets in robes. But again, who am I to cast aspersions? You know, me and my glass house have nowhere to speak.
No, not at all.
But
I will say that I just moved from California. I don't miss that.
right?
Not that I understand it, because I don't. But you do you, brother.
Right. Absolutely.
Not heard nothing but a rug.
Yeah, but it's quickly become my favorite theater over the past few years.
Absolutely. That was one of the first things I think we did when we got back, or when I came back to Columbus.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things that we did was a beer tasting at Studio 35, which I had not been to since maybe 95,
Right.
which I loved it back in the day.
Oh
It
yeah.
was such a great theater back in the day. It just to walk in and like it's the same facade. It's got all the vibe is right there. It's
Yep.
exactly what it was. But to see how they've evolved, so smart.
Oh
So
yeah.
smart.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
They've gotten to where they need to be without losing any of the charm,
Yep.
any of that vibe, any of the feel. I think they've just done a fantastic job, and I was gobsmacked going back in
Right.
after all those years and doing a beer tasting, which was absolutely ridiculous and fun. I forget the movie we saw.
What was the first one we saw when you got back? Was it Tremors?
No, it was before Tremors, which was great.
Absolutely. I was wasted for that one.
Tremors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I nodded off. All of a sudden, they were saying, all right, that's
But whatever it was, like it's a lot of fun, you know.
Yeah.
It's just a day of being stupid, and what's nice is the part of town it's in. Everybody's there for the same reason, you know.
Yeah.
You're just there to have a good time with your friends. There's nobody's being a dick, and it's
Yeah.
just got a great vibe to it.
everybody's cool. The patrons are cool. The staff is cool. They make a fantastic Bloody Mary.
Oh, And they just recently, over the past few years, put a pizza oven in upstairs.
Dude,
So that pizza is lit. It is so good.
honestly, the best pizza in Columbus.
Yeah.
And we've tried a few. It, I mean, hard to beat Gatto's. I'll be honest. Gatto's, it's a good pie. It's, if you want just a old school pepperoni
Right.
pizza, yeah, Gatto's is your joint. You want something elevated? You want something like that's just fucking amazing and delicious? You go to Studio 35
Yep.
for your pizza. Yeah.
And so-
the sandwiches are great.
Yes.
I mean,
The
food at
subs are
Studio
so
35
good.
is
Yeah.
fantastic.
But for every bigger release and for all the beer tastings too, they'll do a custom pizza and like
Yeah.
4 or 5 different cocktails that are all themed.
Yeah.
And just they'll go crazy on the toppings too for these, just shit you'd never think of. For Elf, they had spaghetti and meatballs on the pizza
Yeah.
with a bunch of other stuff
Did you
too.
get that one?
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good.
I think we got the same. I think we got that too.
Yeah. I don't even look anymore. I'll just like whatever the special is for this weekend. I trust you guys,
Yeah.
You've never done me wrong.
They're the masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic food, great pizza, and I love the fact that they will do a themed pie du jour as
Right.
it were, to coincide with a movie or an event. Yeah, I forget what the Death Star pizza was. Oh, I did 2 beer tastings back to back.
That's
this month as well.
that's right. Yes. So originally
So, good God.
it was the first weekend of May because it was Star Wars Day.
Fucking May. Yeah, because we went and saw Nick Cave on Friday,
Yes.
and then
Grandview Theater,
we went to Grandview Theater,
Thunderbolts.
Sarah and I, to go see
Thunderbolts, right?
Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
That's right. So we saw Thunderbolts at a beer tasting at the Grandview Theater, and then the next day I met up with you guys and watched the original Star Wars.
Yeah. Because I wasn't going to go.
And the next weekend Sonic Temple.
Yeah.
God.
I wasn't going to go. Just Saturday I drank a lot because it was free comic book day.
That's right.
So, like a couple weeks before, Tom's like, "Hey, man, we should all go and see Star Wars beer tasting." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "All right, I'll buy tickets." And then Sarah ended up having to work, but still wanted a beer tasting. So this psychopath went both days
Yeah.
after seeing Nick Cave on Friday,
Yeah.
which we put a couple of beers away that night too. So
We did.
yeah.
Yeah. And a picture of Mai Tais.
Fuck, that's right. Oh my god. What was that? Tiger Lily?
Tiger Lily.
Those were
A
good.
picture of Mai Tais and a picture of, what was the other one? It was orange.
Yeah, it was delicious, whatever it was. Yeah. It was some rum punch drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a half a buzz going into that Nick Cave show.
Yeah.
And then,
Beers on top.
threw a couple beers on top of that, and I was done, but not
Yeah.
Tom, man. He dropped it in the third and just took off.
We got this.
But yeah, easily my favorite theater in town is Studio 35.
Yeah. It's I don't want to say it's no frills, but it is an honest, movie experience.
Yeah. It makes going to the movie special again.
Yes.
And again, nothing against AMC. Again, you have a product that I enjoy thoroughly. Like Marcus, I go to
Marcus
all the time. It's right by my house.
Marcus, AMC.
But you can
They'll
go
do what
to,
they do.
you can walk into any one of those, and they all look the same.
They're like a McDonald's.
Yeah. But Studio 35, it's special. You have a rapport with the staff. It's small. Again, like everybody's there because they enjoy going to the movies.
Yeah.
You're not going to be annoyed by somebody talking through the whole thing or taking a phone call. It's a chill vibe. It's Clintonville in a movie theater. And Tom brought this out.
It's a prop.
So for $50, you can buy this, and you can fill it with popcorn every day for an entire year, whenever you want.
Yeah.
So I talked Tom this year into going on Black Friday because they have them for $40.
Yes.
So, and we were talking to the bartender that day as we sat there because we had to drink. It was Black Friday, and we were there. And people will just keep this in their car, and on the way home from work, just pull up, get popcorn,
top it off,
and then go home. Like, it's genius. So
brilliant.
It pays for itself so fast.
Yeah. Well, shoot, I didn't realize that it was a calendar year.
That's right.
I thought,
So,
again, I'm used to like flipping the corporate, like
right.
instead of work the AMC, we're like, oh, we'll have my account on file.
No.
You'll know when I'm due to replace my bucket.
Oh no.
Because that's how things are. It's the 21st century.
So that was like last September.
That was August.
Yeah. So Tom went back to the bar.
I'm gonna buy a bucket.
Comes back into the theater with the bucket. I'm like, wow, okay. Ballsy move.
That expires.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yep.
But still paid for itself.
Oh, easily.
In 4 months.
Yes. So it's practically an investment, honestly.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a cost saving way in these troubled times.
Truly. But can't recommend it enough. I mean, even if there are some movies that are on your periphery,
yeah,
I would go just to experience it. If you haven't been since, basically, if you haven't been since they renovated whenever 20 some years ago, just go. You owe it to yourself to check it out.
If you've been to Studio 35 back in the day and have fond memories or whatever, go.
Yep.
Just go. We went and saw in the recliner room. It was the hell just came. It was the unicorn one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Was it just called Death of a Unicorn?
Death of a Unicorn.
That A24 film?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Death of a Unicorn with Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. And, actors.
Yeah, people.
They were all good. It was, it was like done. It's a B movie,
Right.
But top-notch talent, fantastic production. Saw it in the recliner room. Like, this is not something you go spend a lot of money to go see in IMAX at corporate.
Right.
Like, yeah, it was good for what we paid at the recliner room upstairs at 3035. Yeah.
Perfect.
Had great pizza, beer, drinks, good, fun night.
Right on.
Yeah. I can't say enough about Studio 35.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably one of my favorite places in the world now.
Yeah, it's a great venue, and I've gone just to eat there. Like, we won't even see a movie. We'll just go in for a couple drinks and have a sub or something.
We've thought about that. We're planning to plan on it, if things allow for it. But yeah, because like a pizza special on
Mondays is $10.
Yeah, Mondays is the pizza special. Tuesdays the ticket price.
Yep.
Special. Okay. So
Yeah.
Good pie.
Absolutely. Yeah. So again, so far our streak has been places we like going, but that's the fun. But this one, yes, Studio 35 is something special here in Columbus.
And it always has been. I think,
as
far as my remembrance.
Yep.
It was special when I went back in the 80s and 90s. And it was special,
yeah. And I mean, when we were younger, going in our 20s, what I loved about it was that you could drink and smoke in the foyer. So if you're watching a movie, you can just go out, grab more beer and bring it into the theater and smoke while you're out there.
Or back before they renovated, they had that window seat.
Yes.
Up against the far wall.
Yep.
Because there's the door. You had that window seat with it was a foretop. you could sit and watch the movie with the drinks. So you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
You get the gist. It's fucking E.T. Fucking E.T. Oh no, bitch. So yeah. Sorry.
So yeah, I absolutely recommend it. We ran way long.
Did we?
Yeah. So, but I mean, Tom did a lot of shit in May, so I think it was fair that we spent the time doing that, and we can save our police beat for next time.
Save it.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I didn't realize I was rambling.
it's no. I mean, again, like typically, like we don't do that much in a month, but holy shit, dude, I can't believe, like, again, thinking back that it all started that first weekend, like with Free Comic Book Day and Star Wars Day, that you got the ball rolling, man. And here we are. We're recording this the Saturday before Memorial Day.
Yeah, 24.
And Tom's done 2 beer tastings, a 4-day festival, a 1-day festival out in California. Saw Nick Cave here.
Twice.
So that was worth our time. I mean, that's far superior than the stupid shit that we're going to talk about.
And, I catched up with my stupid shit.
Yeah. So that's impressive, dude. Like, again, I get kind of itchy if I have 3 things on the calendar for a month, but you're just like, you're bam, bam, bam. You're like a fucking Make-A-Wish level bullshit's going on here.
Right.
Like, is there something do you have lymphoma or something you're not telling me about? That's probably not funny, but it kind of is.
Come to terms with it. It is. Back to life.
Right? But yeah, it's very impressive what you've pulled off. So I'm happy for you. And again, like we talked about this on the show when Tom lived out in California, you had all this cool shit around you, but you could never experience it because you couldn't get anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. And again, like, yeah, we've talked about it before. It's like we hit the ground in Ohio and just ran.
Yes.
Like, we've done so much, since August of last year.
Right.
Shit, just between August and December, we did more than the 10 years we lived in,
right.
11 years in California. Increased that exponentially since then.
Right, absolutely.
But yeah, because it was impossible to get anywhere. It was impossible to pay for it all.
Oh, yeah. Because,
I mean, a concert ticket is the price of a concert ticket.
Yeah, I forget about that part of it, too. Like
in California, where we were, like, there's a lot more attached to attending things than just the price of admission. And it was a heavy burden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. However, it's not just down the street.
Right.
That's an overnight. I know it's only like 90 miles away. That's an hour and a half.
That's a weekend blown.
Here, but that's a weekend blown.
Wow.
Because you got to go early. You got to stay the night.
Right.
Futz about until the thing starts.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
And then stay the night and then drive back.
Wow.
It's like, it's just L.A. It's just right there. But it's not.
Right?
It's 4 hours away to go 90 miles. And the bulk of that time is spent going 5 miles.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Beach, mountains, it's all there.
Right.
It exists.
You just can't get to it.
You pay a heavy toll.
Yeah. So, yes, we don't have an ocean here. We don't have a mountain here, but...
Kitty litter beach.
Mm-hmm. We come close.
Yeah.
We got shit.
There's stuff. No,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. There's a lot happening in Ohio.
There is.
Syracuse, same thing. Yeah. We were Cruel World. Like, this will be our last one.
Yeah.
Because she was like, there's better shit happening closer to us.
Well, yeah, and again, I completely forgot about the dollar conversion of California dollar versus an Ohio dollar.
Yeah.
You could probably hit 3 of the, not necessarily local, but regional music festivals for probably what you shelled out for Cruel World.
Oh, God,
Because, I mean, Kentucky's got, was it Bourbon and Beyond?
Bourbon and Beyond.
Chicago's got Riot Fest.
Yep.
There's Nelsonville.
Yep. Kentucky also has Louder Than Life.
Yep, Incarcerated.
Incarceration of
Yeah.
Field. I don't know if it's still worth it, but Chicago's got Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
It still happens.
So absolutely, this is a good hub here to bounce off and do things also.
Spoke couldn't deal.
Yeah.
For a lot less.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're going to get all the experience, all the music, all the bands.
Right.
God. Fucking Ohio.
Right?
I never thought I'd be back here.
We've been here the whole time.
What the hell?
All right. So, again, we cannot recommend Studio 35 enough.
Go there.
According to Tom, there's plenty of shit to do here in town during May. And then what do we got coming up? I think for both of us, I think Psychedelic Furs are coming up July 1st. We bought tickets to see Sons of Gladys in June, the Prince experience at Newport, or not Newport, but Natalie's. That's coming up in a few weeks.
Tell me about that. I'm always intrigued because they play a lot. I always see that they're out. Out playing. I'm curious to
but
how they are.
I was on the fence and I saw I have my favorite table at Natalie's, like right in front of the soundboard.
Yeah.
And when I saw those two seats were still available, I'm like, I gotta go now, man. So I'm in. So again, go out, buy the tickets. Life's too short not to.
Right.
Fucking go to Studio 35, have a cocktail there, watch a movie. And we'll catch you in a month or so. Same bat time, same bat channel.
See you on the flip flop.
All right, and good night, Emily.
Good night, Emily.
All right.
Pleasant dreams.
Night, night. Okay. And now, because I figured it out, the credits are probably rolling.
Oh, there's credits.
There's credits. I made shit up. Our name's on all of them.
Nice.
Yeah, so, yes. Okay.
Can I be the animal wrangler?
You can be whatever. It's your show, dude.
You can be the
I don't want to be the animal. Whoa, hey, man, it's not that kind of show. I don't think I figured out Fade yet. Maybe I have. I don't remember. This is a painful show for me to watch. Because after living it, it's hard.